How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while now, you know I'm pretty hyped for Cyberpunk 2077. I may be a little bit biased. I've been excited for this game ever since it was announced quite a few years ago now, and this is one of my most anticipated games of the year, and I'm just super stoked for this game. But on this channel, I like to have a discussion about games. I don't like to just go into it overhyping a game or underhyping a game. If a game is bad, I'll point it out. I'll let you guys know. If a game's really good, I will also point it out. I'm not influenced by any companies. I don't get any early access to games or review copies, so I will just give you guys my opinion. So obviously there is a lot of hype for Cyberpunk 2077, but in this video I want to go over the opposite side of the spectrum. Obviously it's the internet, there's always some trolls, there's going to be some opposing opinions. So in this video I'm going to go over the top 5 reasons that I have found that people hate on Cyberpunk 2077. I've looked at a lot of the Cyberpunk subreddit, I've watched tons of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of people excited for this game. But as always with the internet, you will find people that just aren't excited, they have reasons to hate on it. So I kind of just want to show off some of those reasons that people aren't excited and just give some counter arguments to that. So to start off this list, coming in at number 5, we have too high of expectations. I think a lot of people are just too hyped for Cyberpunk 2077. This game has been in development for years now, and I think the longer it goes and the more delays this game gets, the just more people are expecting from this game. And I think a lot of people kind of agree with me in that aspect. Like you have this one comment that says, maybe it's just me, but I don't feel this game as something new. Creating too much hype can be dangerous. And then we have another comment that says, this game has been so hyped that there is no way it's going to be as good as people want it to be. And I see this sort of all the time. People are saying what they want from this game. I saw one comment a couple months ago who was so hyped for vehicle customization that he wanted to like change the individual parts out of the vehicle. He wanted to customize his motorcycle and like interchange the parts like a mechanic simulation game in the game. And people just talk this game up too much. A lot of people expect this to be a first-person shooter. People are expecting like tons of different cyberware options where you can customize every single little detail of your character. They want to be able to romance and interact with any single NPC they see on the street. They're just asking too much of CD Projekt Red. Like, yeah, this is going to be a good game. There's going to be a lot of content and a lot of things to do in this game. But if you go into it expecting it to be the greatest video game of all time and your standards are set way too high, you're obviously going to be disappointed. So I think people overhyping it is just kind of ruining it for other players. And I know when this game's released, a lot of people are going to hate on it just because this game doesn't provide a lot of the things that players want the game to have. So coming in at number 4, we have combat / the gameplay just looking clunky. It just doesn't look as good as what people are expecting. And this is kind of related to the overhype thing. I know a lot of people are expecting this game to be some sort of first-person shooter experience like a Call of Duty, a Battlefield, and then when they finally saw gameplay, they were just disappointed. A lot of people don't like the fighting. A lot of people said that the combat looks clunky, the driving looks clunky. For example, this comment says, is it just me or does the driving look a little strange? Then we have this one, it says, is it just me or does the fighting gameplay look meh? And then somebody replied saying, it does look bad, like bad. And then there's this comment, it says, hand-to-hand combat looks surprisingly weak. And then this one says, I don't like how wooden driving looks like. And then there's this comment, it says, I'm not going to lie, it looks like a generic shooter. So I've gotten a lot of these comments just scattered throughout YouTube. Anytime I see a Cyberpunk gameplay video, there's always comments like this, and they always get a lot of upvotes. The comment section always seems to be very divided with Cyberpunk videos for some reason, and I have to agree with them to some extent. A lot of the gameplay does look a little clunky. I know that fight scene up on the roof where you're in a fist fight with the 2 twins, it just doesn't look very good. It looks like it's a little outdated. It doesn't feel like something that you would see in a game from 2020. But at the same time, I know this game is an RPG. I don't really care or expect to see amazing combat. I'm more interested in the story, the dialogue options, the different customization things you can do, the exploration. I don't care if the hand-to-hand combat is the greatest. It doesn't have to be that great. I don't play RPGs expecting a first-person shooter experience. If I want a first-person shooter experience, I'll go out and buy a first-person shooter like Call of Duty, where the focus is the actual actual first-person shooting mechanic. Like, I don't play Skyrim in first person expecting it to be as good as like the Call of Duties or the Battlefields. They're two completely different types of games. Just like when I play a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, I don't expect the story to be as detailed as an RPG is. But one thing I think a lot of people keep overlooking is at the top of every single gameplay video that Cyberpunk has released, it says work in progress does not represent the final look of the game. I think a lot of people just decide not to read that part. It's there the entire gameplay. Things like this change. I mean, the game's been delayed multiple times. I'm sure they're trying to fine tweak some stuff. A lot can happen in development in a couple months. I know when the press got to play the game a little bit early and a lot of YouTubers got some early access, one of the things that the developers said that they were working on was the driving mechanics. So the driving in the gameplay does look like it's a little bit clunky, and a lot of people have pointed that out. But I think that that's something that will probably get fixed by the time that the game is finally released. So up next, at number 3, we have no third person. This is one of the things I see people complain the most about. A lot of people want this to be a third person experience, and I can kind of understand this argument. I personally like to play in third person better. When I played Skyrim, I would always alternate between first and third person. I like games that give you that option. I played a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on this channel, obviously, and that game gives you the option of first person and third person. And I think the majority of people like to play in third person. If you're playing a game and it gives you that option, I mean, third person is just overall a better camera angle. It lets you hide behind corners and sort of wall peek. You can see more of your environment. It lets you look at your outfits and your character. And I see this argument brought up all the time of like, what is the point of customizing your character if you can't see your character? Now, I've used this argument myself. It depends on the game. Like Battlefield 5, for example, you can customize the way that your character looks, but you never see the way that your character looks in Battlefield 5. EA was pumping out skins, they had the Battle Pass, they had tons of different things that they wanted you to buy with real life money, but you didn't even really get to see it in the game except for at the menu. At least in Cyberpunk, there's different things like mirrors, reflections, different cutscenes, just different parts of the environment where you will actually see your character. You can see your whole body. You can actually look down and see your arms and your feet and your torso in this game, unlike most first-person games where you just look down at the ground and you don't even see your feet. So it's not like the customization goes to complete waste in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I am a little bit disappointed with this. I wish that there was a third-person aspect to the game, but the developers have already come out and said that it just didn't work. They wrote this game's story based off of first person. They want you to see what it looks like through the eyes of your character, and third person just comes with its own obstacles to jump through with development. I'm sure if there was a third person mode, it would have taken even longer to develop this game, and we're all to the point where we do not want any more delays. I think this game's been delayed long enough. I completely understand why there's no third person. Yes, I am disappointed, but it's not going to turn me off from buying the game like it will most people. Now, coming in at number 2 on this list, we have removed content. Now, this one I don't really get as much. I see this brought up all the time in comments, is just people trashing on this game because of stuff that gets removed. Yet again, I think this is another example of people just not looking at the top of the gameplay videos. When it says that this is a work in progress and it doesn't represent the final game, I swear people just don't read that at all. They expect everything they see in the gameplay videos to show up in the final product. There's been lists pop up on 4chan, there's been lists pop up on Reddit, and people are just pointing out everything that they've removed from the game, and then they're getting angry at CD Projekt Red as if we are entitled to this content that they decided to just remove. Somebody made a list on 4chan talking about the car customization getting removed, apartment customization, wall running, third-person cutscenes, the robot companion, all the different classes getting removed, swimming, joining gangs. A lot of this stuff hasn't even been confirmed that it's been removed, but people are getting angry about it anyway. Now, this part doesn't really make too much sense to me. I don't get why people would get angry over stuff that was removed from a game that's not even out yet. It is a little bit disappointing that we're not getting some of this stuff, but it's not like we ever had it to begin with. Now, if the game was released and we had all this stuff and then they did an update and then decided to remove it, then yes, I fully understand, and that's justified why gamers would be angry over that. They took something that was in the game and they removed it. But this game's not even released yet. If something doesn't work in development, or they're working on something and then they decide it's just not going to make the final cut, then I don't see why that's a reason to get angry. A lot of people have said that they're just not going to get this game because they keep removing content, and that's just stupid. And yeah, I just don't understand why people are so upset over stuff that never even saw the light of day. And then we have number one, which is the delay. I'm pretty sure everyone can get behind this one, people that are hyped for the game and people that aren't really that hyped for the game. Anytime a game gets delayed, it's never good news for anybody. It's not good news for the developers. It's not good news for the players. Even if you were understanding as to why they delayed the game, it still hurts. Nobody's excited for that. I know the delay is probably for the best. They need to do some fine tuning. They need to fix a lot of the things that were brought up in this video. They need to fix a lot of the problems, maybe fix the combat, add some polish here and there. But I can at least respect what CD Projekt Red is doing, and the fact that they have the balls to actually delay the game. They don't have an angry publisher like EA breathing down their neck. They don't have an Activision telling them what to do. They can make their own decisions. And if EA was in charge, they would have just pulled another Anthem or a Mass Effect Andromeda. They would have pushed the game out too soon. It would have been a broken mess. Everybody would have been angry, and then the game would have flopped. Anthem died within the first week of it being released because there was just nothing to do in the game, and we haven't heard anything since from EA about Anthem. They're supposed to still be working on it, but who knows at this point. So I completely understand why they're delaying the game, and I hope that all these delays were worth it. I think the game has been delayed a total of 3 times, maybe even 4. I'm sure they probably delayed it behind the scenes too before there was an official release date. But yes, easily the number one thing that everybody hates about Cyberpunk is that the game keeps getting delayed. So fingers crossed we don't get any more delays. Hopefully the final release date is this November 19th. I know I'm super excited for it. There are so many games coming out this fall, and Cyberpunk 2077 is number 1 on my list personally. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Are you guys as excited for Cyberpunk as I am? Or are you guys on the fence about this game like some of the comments I showed in this video? Regardless, let me know what you guys think. If you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. That way you guys don't miss out on any future Cyberpunk videos. Be sure to join the channel's Discord and follow me on Twitch at SwanyPlaysGames Live. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.